This is a video about what it's like playing a drum clinic tour. Because this happened.
Hey everybody! You did it.
I played for a room full of people at one of my favorite drum shops. A place where I'd heard for years about my favorite artists playing clinics. Garska. JP Bouvet. And heck, Dan Weiss was there the week after I was. And I got to do it. But that's not all, because I also did a performance at the university in my hometown, where I used to take lessons and play in one of the jazz bands. And after all these years, they had me back to present a clinic in the very same room where I'd sweated bullets in jazz band all those years ago. And I did something I've never done before. Started a clinic with a jazz brush solo. Anyway, you're probably wondering what it was like. When I pulled my audience, you had questions like how I set this up and how I pulled it off, how I made money and did I break even or lose money on this thing, and even the travel foibles and the tour grind, including the many unsexy things about traveling for music.
And I'm gonna try not to freak out about my flight that's at 8 tomorrow.
And a few tricks of the trade I use to make travel easier. And finally, some choice clips from the clinics themselves. And trust me, we're gonna cover all of that. This is gonna be an episode for the deep fans. Today on 80/20, what it's like booking, traveling for, delivering, and getting paid for a drum clinic tour. Stay tuned. Guys, very quick message about something you can grab for free if you want it. We edited the entire University of Montana clinic, where I played for almost 10 minutes and answered questions about the learning process, how social media is crucial to building a career, how to structure a practice routine at various stages of your development, and more. And you can get that complete clinic free by clicking the link below the player. I'm sending that edited clinic out to everybody on my list next week, so if you're not on my list, you should join. And if you already are, just watch your inbox. So I got about 25 minutes to shower, finish packing, and get out of here. And I have to make another pot of coffee. And I decided to film all of it, so. So I've got about an hour before I have to grab a cab to JFK, and the hope is I'm gonna practice before then, because I'm superstitious. Even if it's 15 or 20 minutes, I want to get that practice in. All right, time to cross. Finished practicing. Now it's 7:51. ETA at the parking garage 8 a.m. so I can grab that cab to JFK. Hi, Uber for Nathaniel. I think we're gonna make it, you guys. Okay, lounge access. So let's talk about this. I'm sick of pretending I don't visit airport lounges. You don't need a first class ticket. All you need to do is get one of 2 or 3 credit cards and then put all your spending that you usually do on those cards, or don't even. The one I used is what? It's like a Citibank, American Airlines, something or other. Economy class boarding pass, flash that bad boy, you're in. Free food. So part of the reason you're watching this is to find out how you live in, Nate. And in New York, in the circumstances I can control, the answer is pretty well. Thanks. Have a good one. And would you expect anything else? I'm about to tell you how I slummed like crazy, begged, borrowed, couch surfed, and took multiple leaps of faith. just to break even on this tour. So when I can get some creature comforts along the way, you can bet I will. Anyway, soon it was about to get more interesting.
Waiting in line, and I'm definitely going to be late.
I actually don't know where this is.
I'm going to try not to freak out about my flight that's at 8 tomorrow.
Like, are we in Norway? For now, though, let's just enjoy this first leg of the journey. Let me reflect this back at you guys. So when I first walked in, I asked, like, how many of you are posting your stuff on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever. But, like, show of hands, how many of you have it in your heads that, like, having killer clips of you on social media is not adjunct to having a career, but the entire f***ing thing? Okay, slightly douchey clip of my Montana clinic. Like, here I am telling these kids something. First of all, it wasn't like that at all. They inspired me. But I did want to play you this clip of me challenging them a bit, because the truth is, this is exactly what was so important in my being able to book a clinic tour all on my own. And I couldn't have done it without my friend Connor and the good folks of West Coast Drum Shop. But let's talk about how this all came about. The time was mid-September. I've been full-time with the 80/20 channel for exactly 1 month, and I was getting restless. So I decided I want to travel for the channel one more time in 2023, and I want to break even on all the costs. I took to the channel page, posting a question about who might want to host me and where I might go. The 80/20 equivalent of throwing a dart at a map. And one of the first serious replies was my friend Connor from Montana. The same guy who'd helped me set up a clinic I did at a music store in 2019. Anyway, he was now teaching piano at the University of Montana and thought he could find some funding to bring me out. Hot dog! Immediately, I had a thought. Couch surf tour. My sister lives in Portland, and my mom in Montana.
Mudslinger.
Mudslingerpots.com.
It's 2Ds.
Mudslingerpots.com, 2Ds. If I could find places to couch surf in both cities, I'd only have to spend on stuff like airplane tickets and cabs. So I reached out to spots I'd heard of who hosted clinics in Portland and Seattle. And here's where the social media stuff came into play. The people who got back to me fastest were West Coast Drum Shop. And they were good to go right out of the gate. Why? For some reason, against all their better judgment, they'd been watching my stuff. So for anyone wondering why I mentioned that to the Montana folks, super quick. Having the channel has helped me punch way above my weight when it comes to endorsement deals, getting on platforms like Drumeo, and yes, clinics. Not to mention making a living by having the world's best students. And not only were West Coast Drum Shop willing to host me, they were a Meinl partner, so Meinl would kick in some money as well. Because it was my first time playing there, and I didn't want them on the hook if the turnout wasn't great, we agreed on a door split. And I'll reveal later how that went. But it also meant I'd have to spring for a hotel room in Bellevue, Washington, which was gonna make it harder to break even on this tour. Luckily, when I took the kayak, airfares were stupid low. So I firmed up the dates and booked the dirt cheapest coach seats money would buy. I don't know. It started shittier and it got better. It's been a minute.
You're playing time without going spang-a-lang, but it still sounds like you're playing time. Is what I mean.
So we're here in Seattle. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm gonna hit up the lounge to grab a cup of coffee, do a little bit more work.
Thank you very much. You too. Bye-bye.
Hang on. Wind that back. And pause again. If you're thinking something is fishy, you're not wrong. Am I trying to pull a fast one? The truth is, this is 3 days later. All right, so we're back. It's 72 hours later. We're back on that travel hustle. I'm here at PDX. It's been a great 3 days seeing my family, but now we're continuing on to Seattle. The truth is, I still went to Portland, even though I didn't have a drum clinic there, because it's based. And my sister is there, and my mom flew out to visit. But now, I'd finally made it to Seattle. And I was late. So it's gonna be a rush to get to downtown Bellevue. Still gotta get back over to, where was it? I'd spent too long working, and now I had just half an hour to grab a rental car and get over to a Chinese restaurant in Bellevue to meet a guy from my list. Okay, I can already go to level 3 here. Gold directory board. Does that mean I go outside again? So. Sweet. Here we go. We got the rental car. Now we're just waiting in line, and I'm definitely going to be late for this lunch. But it ended up being cool. The guy was super gracious about my rampant lack of professionality. Okay, so we just finished lunch. I'm a sweaty mess. It's time to go to the hotel. Oh.
Very Japanese looking.
The WCDS people tell me I should take my time, get situated, and then head over. So that's what we're gonna do, all right? One thing I've caught myself doing recently is like playing a beat that's like some part Clyde Stubblefield and some part Dilla. So like the first part is quantized, and then my body just kind of feels like a, which I guess is like a quarter triplet, a second quarter triplet thing, but maybe not quite. I threw in that bit about shifting from one type of beat to another because it's important to be flexible and roll with the punches or something. Anyway, it was time to head to West Coast Drum Shop and meet the people who made it possible for me to come all this way. And as I was about to discover, getting there was not very straightforward. Did I miss it again?
A few moments later.
After a frustrating few minutes going in circles, I'd located the venue. We did it. We finally did it. It was time to go inside and say what's up to the good folks. I'm gonna have to pay for so much Google storage after documenting this trip because I'm literally shooting everything.
Oh, nice.
And now time to shout out the people of Meinl and answer one of the questions I got. No, I did not have to bring any symbols or gear with me because I could choose from this entire wall of symbols.
Oh, yeah. 15 foundries.
Hear that, Chris?
Must have sold the 20-inch foundry. Crap.
Soon enough, it was time to get set up in the actual performance room. Yeah, this has Murdo Motel vibes in the best way.
Absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah. Which was huge.
Snacks.
I was really hoping people would show up.
Let us know if you need anything specific. Okay, so we have the rig. We're set up. Check this.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor me as a drum company, is I can just be a mercenary. Like, these are sonars, but I don't know, I think I like sonar. Now, by the way, thanks, Chris. Beautiful vinyls, as usual. With about an hour to go before go time, I grabbed a last-minute shed on the clinic kit. Then it was time to let people in. And for some crazy reason, we had a full house. And then it was time to start. And I'm happy to say that if you want the whole clip of that clinic, you can watch it start to finish at the card on your screen. And almost before it began, it was over. Okay, we finished the clinic. Hopefully you guys will be seeing footage of that if Cole gets it to me, but now we're going to do the meet and greet, which is awesome. Can I just say, like, how happy and flattered I am everybody turned out? It was amazing. Then we said our goodbyes, and then it was over.
Nice, thank you.
Well, thanks. Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. Okay, we're finally done with everything. I'm exhausted. We're gonna get some food, go back to the hotel, and I'm gonna try not to freak out about my flight that's at 8 tomorrow. Okay, back at the hotel. Just wanna check in for my flight tomorrow, plan a little bit, and then I'm going the to sleep. Then sleep. Right, so that's the classic, like. But you can make any combination of those and go over the bar line too, so. And then if you just imagine speeding that up. Right, like I think I cheated and threw in a kick double there, but literally that was an entire solo comprised of like just those two idioms.
And I even had time to have breakfast at the Centurion Lounge in Seattle, one of my favorite lounges in the States, where, you guessed it, I got in free with the dirt cheapest coach ticket just because I have a shiny credit card. Who should really sponsor me at this point? Okay, also, my boarding pass says C2D. Whenever there's like a letter after it, that gives me pause. Like maybe it's gonna be a remote stand, so I better head down there.
Yes, there's no place like Montana.
Now I was off to Montana, my home state. A river ran through it, and now a plane was flying over it.
All right, so welcome to Montana. This is my mom's place. I think I'm going to either set up the drums and then seek out some food, or in the reverse order. We'll see. But I'll try to catch some of the shedding. I want to shed some jazz. So that's how we're gonna get ready. Need some sunglasses though. For the Montana clinic, I wanted to do something different. Play jazz. Go really deep and then go broad. And I think the two things you're trying to balance are going deep enough to get an actual benefit, because as far as I know, the way the human mind works, you need just raw repetitions. Like you throw your brain at a problem and just give it enough raw reps, and eventually it'll sort out what you're doing, as long as you aim it at the right problem and you give it a small enough number of things to master. So there's that whole thing you're trying to optimize for. Like put yourself in a scenario where your brain is going to bootstrap itself to a skill. And that's really how magic happens. Okay, we're back. It's been a couple days of relaxing in Montana, and now we've got one last hurrah before the final clinic. Got the kit over here, the Montana kit. Pay no attention to those symbols. So we're gonna get a quick practice sesh, which is really, it's actually just gonna be working on stuff I wanna work on because I feel prepared for the clinic. But then we'll chronicle heading over there, and then I am not gonna do a vlog again for a few weeks. All right. So it's 1:40-ish in the afternoon. Look at this. Like, are we in Norway? The University of Montana. I hadn't been back for at least a decade, but it was here that I'd do my second clinic. And remember Connor? He came through. And remember, if you'd like the complete Montana clinic, I'm sending that out to my list next week. If you want to get on the list to get that hour 20-minute clinic, just click the link below. And then it was over. Thank you guys. So we're back in New York. It's now a few weeks later, and I haven't even picked up the vlogger cam in that whole time. I was completely burnt out from vlogging. Looking back at some of this footage now, it's amazing, and it'll be a lot of fun to share with you guys. But yeah, this is the reason why I only do a few of these a year. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. So, did we answer everybody's questions? We covered what it was like, how I set it up, the travel adventures, waiting in line, and I'm definitely going to be late. Gave you footage from the clinics and links for more. Oh, did I break even? Yes, I did. With all the amazing people who came out to see me in Seattle, plus the money Meinl kicked in, then the funding wizardry of Connor, who found the funds to get me to U of M, plus a fair amount of couch surfing. Thanks, Mom. We broke even. Anyway, if you stuck with me all the way to the end, I appreciate you. These tour vlogs are a labor of love. Maybe someday I'll find an angle that makes everybody want to watch them, but as I said at the top, it's kind of a small, deep audience. Here's a fun one I'll throw out there. Where do you want to see me go next? Or what do you want to see me do in film? Leave a comment below. Dudes, it's been real. Always enjoy these. See you again real soon in another Lesson of the Week.